Hi, I'm Andrew, and this is a quick tutorial on how to use OpenAI's Whisper model in Google Colab to make really high quality transcriptions and captions for your YouTube videos. We're starting off here on the GitHub page, which is what links to the Collab notebook. And if you're not familiar with Colab or Jupyter or Python notebooks or any other things I mentioned, don't worry, this will be a very easy tutorial and I'll explain what you need to know as we go along. So you can start off here by seeing this is a copy of the notebook, but we'll just click on that badge, which will take us to the actual notebook running on Google Colab. So what is Google Colab? It's a cloud service that lets you run a Python notebook. What's a Python notebook? A Python notebook is an environment where you can run both Python code and have text that explains what's going on. So I have a text block here describing the notebook, and below that, I have a code block. And when I click on that there, that will actually run the code. And you can run each block step by step, which is really helpful for a lot of different kinds of applications and learning how to do things. Now, before running any code in this notebook, what you want to do is click on Runtime and make sure that it's using a GPU. That would be a graphic processing unit. Why do we want to do this? Because GPUs work really, really well with a lot of machine learning tasks, and it will make it much, much faster. So you can read this whenever you want, but I will walk you through the steps. Step number one is I'm going to click on this button here. It's going to give me a warning saying Google didn't write this. That's correct. I did. And it's going to run. So in the background, it's loading these different libraries. That's the code it's going to need to do what we're asking it to. In this case, YouTube DL, which will help us download the YouTube audio. Then it'll have the OpenAI's Whisper framework, and then it's going to have a couple of things, FFmpeg and Librosa. And these are the import statements. This is what actually tells it to say, since we've loaded it, now make it available in the code. Now you notice we got a lot of output here. This is telling us each of the steps. Some of the stuff's already installed, some of it had to be downloaded. Now we don't need to see that, so I can click on that button right there and it will hide it, but it's still there. Every time you run a cell or a block, you'll see a little green check mark like the one here, since I already ran that one. So we've got the libraries downloaded. Now we need to select a model. So OpenAI's Whisper model comes in 5 different sizes. And they are extremely capable, even the small ones, but the bigger ones are really useful if you want to translate into different languages. We're going to use the base model because it's really fast and it's high quality. But if you feel like you're not getting the results you want, then you can use a larger model. They will be slower, but more powerful. If you want to use it to translate a different language, then just delete the .en there, but that's going to be the language we're using. Large does not have a .en, it's just a general purpose multi-language model. So what we do here is we click that, and it's going to load the model from the server here. And apparently it's already loaded, so we're good. You would see a little loading indicator if it needed to be loaded, but we're good to go. Next step, well, next is the actual transcription. So you need a YouTube URL. So I'm going to use one from an old video of mine talking about some writing tip or something. And just click like that on play, on run, looks like a play button, and you get a little input box there. So I'm going to add my YouTube URL there, and I'm going to click enter, and that's going to start the process. And you can see each step along the way, and you can see it running down here. The first thing it has to do, it actually has to load the video from YouTube, which it's doing in the background. And it's funny because it's actually kind of comically slow, even though it's all in the cloud. Then it's going to extract the audio. So once it's got the video, it's going to run through a process and just strip out that audio that we can then use that with the model. So now that it has the audio, it says it's downloaded. If I click on this folder icon here, I can see that it has the MP3 file, which tells me that it's now doing the transcription, which it did in the time that it took me to explain that. So this video is over 6 minutes long. To create this transcription, it took under 4 seconds. And that is, by the look of it, a very accurate transcription. And if I go over here, I can click on text, and that will show me my transcription text, which looks good. Now to download this, I just click on the tab here and click download, and it will download. For some reason, it can take a long time to upload or download files into Collab notebooks, but other than that, they're pretty awesome. So I now have my text file, which if I go to my YouTube page for that video, I can upload it and use something called AutoSync, which will find the right places to start and stop the captions based upon the audio. There is a link here to click on if you want more information about that. But it will literally take you 2 minutes after you create this transcription to get it uploaded to your YouTube video and have it live, which is pretty awesome. For a comparison, I want to show you what my video looked like before with auto captioning, and then after we've used the Whisper base model to create captions for it. Imagine you're at a grocery store and you put some ice cream in your basket and some old lady grabs it and puts it in her own. She does the same with your cereal, your beer, whatever. She keeps taking things from you and put it into her basket. It's kind of crazy. Now you go to a party and you tell your friend this. And they're like, that's awesome. And they have you tell it to somebody else. Imagine you're at a grocery store and you put some ice cream in your basket and some old lady grabs it and puts it in her own. She does the same with your cereal, your beer, whatever. She keeps taking things from you and put it into her basket. It's kind of crazy. Now you go to a party and you tell your friend this. And they're like, that's awesome. And they have you tell it to somebody else. As you can see, the Whisper version has punctuation and gets pretty much every word exactly. And it's a big improvement over auto captioning and took very little time to do that.